Welcome back, YouTube. It's been a calamitous few weeks at Jamie Carr's. I am sitting in Ragnar, the Prancing Moose Volvo. It's a 2002 Volvo V70 2.4 turbo, the baby turbo, the sport wagon, sitting in the garage where something really interesting happened the other day. But why has it been calamitous? Because right back there behind me, that Previa back there, do you see that thing sitting in the driveway? Yeah, lost the pretty much the flex pipe and two catalytic converters on that thing a couple weeks ago. That was not inexpensive. And then right behind me, we just had Lagatha have a dry rot on a tire, get a flat, and lose control on the highway, take out a light pole. We're really lucky that that's all that was wrong, and a bunch of repair damages. So that video is actually uploading while I'm shooting this right now inside the house. But when I got on Monday, literally Monday, spent the day in 95-degree heat in my dad's garage, changed the right front drive axle on the cross country and the tie rod in, got it back on the ground, drove it home, pulled Ragnar, this car, out of the garage so I could check the fluids on the cross country, tried to clear some codes. It needs some tire pressure monitoring systems. I knew one of them was going bad, but now it looks like two of them are bad. Gonna replace those. Pulled it out of the garage, pulled Ragnar back into the garage, and Ragnar decided to throw at me a SRS airbag service system service urgent message. Never thrown that code before. So, well, yes, it had back in 2019, and we'll get to that. So ran inside the house, grabbed the Vita laptop computer, came back out. I'm going to show you what I found when I plugged in the Vita. All right, YouTube, I've got you resting on the steering wheel, sitting in Ragnar, the Prancing Moose, Sport Wagon V70, the baby turbo. I'm going to start it up sitting in the garage and let you see what I see. Here we go. Oh, actually, there's gauges working. That's interesting because it has not worked for 3 days. When I started it up with the Vita computer in there, nothing on that dashboard moved. It was completely dead. So I've known for a while now. Here, I'll rev it up. The Prancing Moose. Yeah, usually that clock is just scrolling. It is not 1:34 p.m. It is actually 5:22 p.m. Mountain Time. That clock is always wrong. But when I started it up the other day, this is the first time I've started it in 3 days that it has any life in those gauges. It died. It's actually the second time that the driver information module, the cluster module, has died in this car. So back in July of 2019, we were driving Ragnar down US 36 and looked down at the speedometer and there was no information there. It was completely blank. No temperature, no RPM, no speed, no fuel, no computer, nothing. No information, no warning lights, dead. Driving with the speed of traffic. So we had to replace it. Yeah, the cluster on that one had a scrambled computer screen for the information when you push the data button or whatever it's called on info button, I think it is on the stock. So at 205,150 miles in July of 2019, that DIM died. The original one that came from 2002. Looked into getting a rebuilt replacement, but I think for 120 bucks, I think it was $120 in July of 2019, installed a used one that had 143,483 miles on it. So that was a difference of 61, something like that miles, 61,000 miles. So, actual mileage on the car was 247,816 because I just checked fluids the day before pulling it out of the garage and putting it back in and didn't drive it anywhere. So it had been sitting here at 247,816 miles total, even though the odometer on that replacement used DIM only said at the time 186, 149. So that second DIM went bad. That DIM had been bad or going bad for a little over a year. The clock would just scroll. Hated that clock. Sometimes it would be right. All of a sudden out of nowhere it would be perfectly normal. And then suddenly it would just scroll. Other times it would not scroll, but it'd be the wrong time. So I don't know if it was just, hey, dead clock's right 2 times a day. I don't know. But that thing was messed up. So it was a shock 3 days ago when I pulled it into the garage and it gave me that message on the SRS airbags. Went in and got the computer, came back out, and it was completely dead. And I'm totally shocked now because in 3 days it hasn't worked. That's the first time it's worked in 3 days, and I'm blown away that it turned on, but we're still going to replace it. All right, so this time I decided we're just going to go to XeMODeX. There's their logo right there. I'll post a link to their website down below. But I went ahead and got the, I have an 0203, which you can see here. This is the unit that just arrived here today. It is a black bezels, which I actually really like, just the starkness of the black. That is $549 on their website, plus a $100 refundable core charge when you send them back your broken one. There is an option for, I think it's $50 more for $599. You could get something that looks like this. I had pulled this cluster out of an 05 S60 that I took the steering wheel and the steering wheel trim pieces out of to upgrade my V70 with the black instead of the gray that we had. So I still have this sitting around here for some reason. It is not usable because 05 to 07 is generally not compatible with 01 to 04 electronics. So I still have this sitting around here. I guess at some point I could take that black face out and put it on here. Possibly. I've seen people do it. There's also the option I've seen people do where the cross countries have a thicker silver bezel that goes around and a little bit different dials. I've seen them pull those out and put them in here as well. But I really just like this. For the granddaddy of all, for $949, XeMODeX will sell you the R, the V70R or the S60R with the thick silver bezels around these two dial, or around all the dial gauges, and the speedometer and the RPM are actually the blue metallic looking background that's lit up like the R's. And I actually paid an extra $35. It's $54 regular shipping for ground. I paid an extra $35, and at $89 in express shipping, ordered this unit right here on Tuesday morning early. They are in Ontario, Canada. And it arrived by UPS to my house this morning. They said it was going to arrive by noon. It actually made it at 10:18 a.m. Way ahead of schedule. So yeah, we got the real unit. It's supposed to be plug and play. I gave them my VIN number from the Volvo. So the VIN number on this car, they have somehow programmed that VIN number into here. All I have to do is plug this in, and it will capture the mileage that is stored in the computer. I'm assuming that it's going to capture the 186,149 miles, roughly. It wasn't driven anywhere from when I checked the fluids. That is stored in the computer, but that is not the accurate mileage on this car. The actual accurate mileage is 247,816 because it had a difference of 60-some thousand miles on it from the time that... 61,000 miles plus or something like that from the time the first one died and I replaced it with a used one. So that's where we're at. I'm going to put it in and we'll see what happens on the plug and play. All right, XeMODeX didn't actually send any instructions, but everything on their website says it's plug and play. For just being careful and safety, I am disconnecting the negative terminal on the battery. So it is dead. The electrical system has died off. Now I'll take out the old one. I know there's tons of videos that show how to do that, so I'll just kind of show you step by step as we go through it. So using the bone tool that I have from IPD, I just need to pry in here and get this bezel. This is black from that 05 S60 that I talked about. And then once I have that free, I'm able to lift this top cover on the steering column straight out. The black piece, they're attached together by this little strip of vinyl. Those will come out, and then I believe there are 4 Torx bolts that hold in that cluster and a single clip on the back. All right, so it took some prying, but the top is free. I just got to pull on these sides, and then the bottom will be able to come out. All right, something to show you. I have this free now, but when you go to pull out the sides, make sure you pull them straight back and not pivoted, because I just snapped, and there it went. I just snapped a little button off of there. So XeMODeX is going to get one that's broke. I'm sure they have extras to repair that. But yeah, that just snapped off because I pivoted it up, and it finally popped and broke it off. And I've actually done this before, so I can't believe I just did that. So be careful, don't do what I did. Now I just need to see how it's connected by a little vinyl strip. I just need to pop this straight up, and it just it'll come right up. Here's how I popped that. I took my bone tool and just stuck it right above the column in this rubber. Got it in there and just did a little pop, and it just lifted right up. I just got to do it on the other side. All right, it's super easy. It just popped right out of the other side. Now this is all good. It just lifts right up and out. I can put it out of the way. And in here we can see our bolts. We have a Torx back there, a Torx there. I think they're T25s. They're small. Just hope I don't lose them. Another one there and another one down in the corner. And this thing comes out with a single clip on the back. The 4 Torx bolts are out. This should just slide right out. And when it sits down, there's the connector. It's super simple. I'll see if I can do this one-handed. I don't know if I can get you to get the right light adjustment. There you go. Now you can see what I'm doing, sorta. So it's got a single push in the middle. Oh, I'm gonna need 2 hands, so you're just gonna have to trust me. This comes out nice and easy with 2 hands. All right, there it is. There's the little clip that goes in there. Some old foam that's all disintegrating. And look what I found, the little tab that broke off. That's my mileage reset for the odometer. So yeah, like the trip 1 and trip 2. So broke that off. Don't do that. Don't do it like I did. All right, this is what it looks like on the back. This is the one that just died on me. It was a replacement used from 2019, July 2019 put in, but it is going to go back to XeMODeX as a core refund return. Give you a little comparison. There's the old one I just took out, the replacement that we put in 2019. It made it 4 years and a month. That's an 05 that won't fit in. It won't work in there, but it does show what the silver ring upgrades were as of 04. And then this is the new unit. It's an 0203 rebuilt unit by XeMODeX. Has their branding on the back of it, all new bulbs. I actually just pulled this off their website. Inside here underneath the cover on the back of the computer is an upgraded heat sink to keep the heat away from the microchip. I do believe that they upgrade the microchip as well. In 2004 or 5, Volvo changed their original microchip, so these things don't destroy themselves. It does have all new bulbs. It came with, actually, 2 spare bulbs, just in case, so I'll have to keep those somewhere where I remember. I'm sure I'll forget. It is supposed to be plug and play. Again, I disconnected the battery. We'll reconnect that. And it comes with a limited lifetime warranty, so almost the life of it. So I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, I'm sure XeMODeX hasn't let me down yet, so I'm sure it'll be fine. So we're going to put this one back in. It's just the reverse of the removal. That was super easy. Let me light these up. You can see there's a Torx right there, upper one and a lower one. T25s is what they are. I will come around here. Upper one and a lower one. So just 4 Torx bolts that go in. Just get them nice and snug. Don't over tighten them because you are dealing with plastics. You don't want to crack that whole housing and have that thing rattle around. I'm just hoping that my idiot technician can actually install the trim pieces without breaking the mileage trip meter reset or the fuel gauge reset. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I'm just going to give you a quick show of the backside of the gauge cluster bezel. So it has 2 clips, one here just below my thumb. Do you see that? Yep, see that sitting there? One there on the bottom, and then there are 3 of them across the top. So they are the male sides. They clip in right here. 1, 2, 3 across the top, and 1, 2 in the bottom. And then online they were saying to put those in first, so I'm gonna do that because I don't want to break these little guys off because I need to keep this one, and then set the upper trim piece. It just drops in. It has to line up all the little tabs and the little lock tabs in the lower section of the steering column clamshell. Actually, it's not really a clamshell on this one. It's just 2 separate pieces. Are we ready for the reveal? Bum, bum, bum. No broken reset. No broken reset. So far so good. Now I just got to reattach this carefully so I don't break any tabs here. All right, this part's been pretty easy. Let me click on this little LED strip so you can see. What I did was I got it square. I kind of pulled with the vinyl. It's fairly flexible. You got some room for air here, but I pulled it up so it was sitting square, but underneath here still. And I lined it up so that these edges go behind. There's a little channel in these rubber seals that go on this is the wiper stalk, and on this side we have the same situation going on right back here. There's 2 channels. You got to slide it down in, and once you get it going, it just sits nice and square. And this is on the turn signal stalk. You also want to make sure that you have all of these. Let me get a little additional light. You want all of those tabs lined up with each other, and you can just see as they go together, they just guide each other right in, so that there's 2 lock tabs. You can see the circular ones. There's another circular one that's going to reach in there and grab 2 tabs. And over here, we have the exact same thing. Let me switch hands. Yeah, see? We got the circular one right above the key. It's going to reach in there. It's actually not a circle. It's just an open socket. It's going to reach in there and pinch around a little nub. And then all those little guides go in the right spots. And there's a front one and a back one. So they just... All right. It's all back together, sitting nice and flush like it's supposed to be. I lost the light. Where'd it go? Here, we'll light it up for you. Voila! Nice and flush. It's all behind the stock rubber seals. Both sides, nice and perfect. That's exactly what it looked like, but only when it was running before. So it's connected. All I got left to do is connect the battery and start hearing some clicking and relays firing. And we'll fire this up and see what happens with the mileage. Super quick and easy, 10 millimeter, just nice and snug and tight. The battery terminal is connected. We now have a full circuit powering the car. We just gotta go turn it on. All right, YouTube, welcome back. You got the best seat in the house. We're doing this live. I have not test run this. XeMODeX knows their shit, and they said this is plug and play. So it is plugged, battery is live. All I gotta do is turn this ignition and let's see what happens. Let's find out what mileage it grabs out of the computer. I see lights, 186,149. Excellent. Let's see what happens when I start it. Normal. Totally normal. I need to reset the clock. It's good. 84 degrees seems right. That airbag code should go away because it had triggered it before on the other one. I'll plug in Vita. We'll clear that out and we should be good to go. Revving up. It does need a new tank of gas because I think it was about 415 miles on this tank. So yeah. A little under quarter tank is accurate in my opinion. We should be good to go. I am happy. It grabbed the mileage that was last stored in the computer from the replacement driver information module. So again, that one's 61,000 miles plus short. So it's really 247, whatever it was I said earlier. So yeah, I track it. The mileage on this car is higher than that, but yeah, I just do that 61,000 plus conversion on my little spreadsheet. So let's see if I can get this code declared. Let's see if we have any other codes real quick before we turn it off. Time for regular service. Tailgate open, yeah, because I just did the battery. All right, we're gonna tailgate open. Time for regular service. SRS airbag. Let's clear those out. We'll Vita this up and see if they clear out. All right, so sitting in the Volvo, got it idling. I got the Mongoose cable plugged in and on the OBD2 reader and Vita hooked up. And this is what it's telling me. Central module unit fault in the driver door module. It's had that code for probably 5 years. I'm not really sure what that one's all about, but it apparently doesn't like the driver's door module, but everything works fine. Except if you do the power locks from inside, it doesn't want to undo the power locks. That's the only thing from inside. You got to use the fob. So the SRS code here, it says a lamp was a faulty signal. Go figure, because the lamp was in that bad DIM, and that ABS is flashing because it is actively communicating with Vita on the computer. So that is a normal sign. That light we should get to clear. So I am in fault tracing on the code. You didn't see me do all that, but we go to delivery on this tab. I go down here. We're going to do it live. It should just take a few seconds. And down here we see erase all. See me down here? Down there. Erase all. And then it's going to say, to make sure you reset all the computers, do this little process. And I actually can tell you that that light has already gone because it now just says tailgate open up there on the dash. So this process says, turn the car off. Start the engine. So turn it completely to off. Start the engine. Rev it above 1500. That's always fun. That was above 33. That was above 3000. Turn the ignition off. And one more time, start the engine and let it idle for 20 seconds. So, halfway there, deal with me. All right, that should be 1020 counting in my head. You could check my accuracy on the video. All right, so we click OK. Gone. Codes are gone. No messages up there. Let's see if I click the button. Tailgate open. 2 messages. Time for regular service. I can make that go away because it doesn't remember. I'll do that. There's a sequence on the starter and holding down the reset button. So now we just have a driver door module. I'm going to tell it to read all. And that's as of 6/14/6/14. So it just said that one. Read all again. That's it. Erase all. Read all is not. Oh, there we go. Maybe it didn't do it. Read all. Now we got it. Sorry, my fault. That's it. That's all there is. 6:15:14, 6:15. It just changed time. I just didn't see the time change. So driver door module. Again, it's had an issue with this driver door module. When I finally find my R placard, I plan on taking this driver door module apart and cleaning the heck out of it and getting it to work on a new door card for a V70R, because the other door cards are all R with NordCap. This was the only one I have left to replace. So I think we're all good. This thing's ready to drive over to Costco, fill it up with gas, because it is driving off in the morning. I think we're good to go. All right, YouTube, I think Ragnar's ready to drive. I need to drive, we're carpooling to UNC, University of Northern Colorado, for a NCAA Fall 2023 season match tomorrow night, and this car is driving us. So I think it's good to go. Thank you, XeMODeX. It was plug and play. I don't see any issues. I'm super excited to have my car back, and I gotta go get some fuel in this thing because it needs gas for the trip. Be safe out there, YouTube. Have fun. Stay safe. All right, so I just got to repackage this bad boy up. This is the bad unit. It has the broken nub reset button. I also forgot to mention it came with a full diagnostic testing on the rebuilt unit that's now working in the car. Important message: just a bunch of stuff in this package to get this return through customs into Canada. So I take all that to UPS. It looks like it's prepaid. They do provide a full invoice, the spare bulbs. These guys know what they're doing. They know their shit. So look up XeMODeX. The website for these guys is in the description of the video down below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and be safe out there, YouTube.